Welcome back to Vampyr. I don't know why I say it that way. I will never know why I say it that way. Your patience is wearing you thin, eh? Okay, so be it. I'll come out here.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
There is nothing here. This is my office.
Nurse, this room is off limits, and I'd prefer to keep it that way. Make sure the rest of the staff are so informed.
Of course, Doctor. And what about the antiseptics? Or do I inform the staff that you're too busy?
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, indeed. Thank you, indeed. Do you guys want to hear all the story? If so, because all these characters have a different story in this hospital.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
No, you're not. That's not the point. Nobody touch, she's not.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Okay, then, so be it.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see.
Thank you, mortal, but...
Who are you really, Miss Hutcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require?
Although you can.
Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you.
Watch now. See now you see her 6 level 2 on mind. She gives you 1,250 XP. And she doesn't have anything that ails her. She's just insane. Which is bizarre.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
No.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
How cruel has life been to you?
Where were you stationed, sir?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
How close are you to Miss Horcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
How kind.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
And it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed.
In her madness.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Disgust on every street corner.
Oh, by the way, you can figure out Ailsm later on. But not right now. And yes, you can even eat, you can even drink him. You could start drinking everyone in the hospital if you don't like it. I might do another run for on this game where I drink literally everyone again. You could be by upgrading a character to do that, so the amount of XP you would get would be frickin' ballistic. We'll come back and do the messages here, guys. There's a lot of them. So there's a lot of side characters in this game too.
Gal voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Although the more these guys are really just collecting supplies for curing diseases. These aren't birds. You would think they weren't because they're a low-level vampire type of thing. But no, they're extra, and they come with some of the chemicals that you actually need, which is bizarre, I would say, to say the least. Always go check for more supplies behind it. Okay, here we go. Here's where we get all our supplies for making our antibiotics, our antiseptics, or etc, 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 etc. I'm not gonna list them all. It's a lot of them. It's also good to go for grinding for chemicals because blech.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Oh, I hate hiccups. Open door.
I cannot enter.
Because the door is locked. Yes, I know this.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
Oh, you're after the iron tartrate. Okay. But why would you be after that? Doesn't look much of a... Go down the stairs. Check in here, maybe. I can.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
We're going to the basement? Okay. And these guys just eventually come back to life, so I remember that. There we go.
These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
They're after flesh. They're like zombies, I suppose, maybe. There we go, chemicals that we might need. Ah, sneezing. I hate sneezing so much, guys. Oh yeah, he's immune to blood now, yeah.
I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. But to drink blood is so tempting.
I mean, we kind of need to, and we kind of don't need to at the same time. It's a good question whether or not we should, though. If you honestly think about it. Analyze. And there you guys go. And see, we're only missing a few things. See, now we have one of those, which helps out with frog in the throat, or fargle. I don't know how to spell it, for fuck's sakes. 10% chance to instantly kill your enemy. Yes, please. I know I just have a 10% chance every single hit I hit on the enemy to kill them instantly. Which, I didn't say what kind of enemy. I wonder if that works on bosses now. I wonder if it works on bosses. I don't know if it will or not, guys.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. It's locked, all right.
This is Mr. Connor, and this is Mr. Connor injuries don't.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps?
Perhaps, yeah.
The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened.
Yeah.
Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Dr. Tippett, eh? Top of the morning to you, laddie. We need to go talk to Dr. Tippett after this. Oh, thanks, bud. Get off of me, you little fricker. Oh, he parried me. That's how he got me like that. Crum door. There we go. We made it. We did it, guys. Yay. Not like I haven't done that part before. So, like, on the new parts of the story, I'm gonna tell you right now, I made it to one of the first bosses without just stop playing. I think it was the first boss. Looked like. And when I had done it, it was after I talked to all of them. After I talked to all the doctors and nurses, which takes quite a while because there's quite a lot of them. Sometimes there's even new ones. I mean, you can drink their blood, but doesn't mean you should. Although, if you want, I can do another run through on this game whenever I beat it. And I'll do a run through where I just drink all of the characters' blood. Like each and every character I find, I must upgrade the perk to drink their blood, and then do so. You guys can decide whether or not I do that. By saying, yes, we'd like a playthrough like that, where you drink everybody's blood. Nobody is left out of the carnage. Everyone dies. I wonder where I put all the corpses. Hello, you. Rumdo. That's how you sprint, by the way. You can't... Okay, now that we're done with all that, we're going to talk to, I think it was you? Looked like you, anyway.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us.
Yes.
I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses.
This is the doctor.
He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Yep.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
Not really.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
I find that bizarre too.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
We have to say these things if we want to exert all this dialogue.
Good
The more
morning,
dialogue
Dr.
you
Wilson.
exert, the more you know about them, and the more you can know if they have a condition or not, or if they don't have a condition or not. See, he can give you upwards of 1,650. You can't talk to him. You can't talk to this fella. This fella, okay. But you know what we're gonna do spending this episode is just talk to these
I'm
guys.
Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Will you sell? Well, let's see what you're trading right now.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
You don't have a bad gun either. It's just stupidly expensive, apparently.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Yeah. In a way, I suppose.
So what do you do?
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently.
I agree with that.
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected...
Go there yourself if you want.
Since you're...
It's a
Are you really...
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, nurse. And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse?
I don't
What if
know.
in the end, nobody was spared?
It's really bizarre.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You're right. Change.
I don't like your attitude, Nurse Hawkins. Pessimism can be as lethal as the epidemic in times like these.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Excusing Captain.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
There you go, guys. We talked to her as well, but you can drink her blood as well. So level it is level 3, 1500. Never play this game, it's kind of important knowledge. There we go. Now I have to go see if we can find nurse.
It's locked.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleague arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to
My
work
dog, guys.
and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
How can we be sure we're making a difference?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
You're convinced,
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit.
I'll give you some advice, but understand that nothing beats practical experience, which can be exhausting and solitary work.
Of course, sir. And don't worry, I will never allow myself to be a burden, neither to you nor this hospital.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical.
You're not the first one to warn me. But I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well,
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about
Possibly.
our capacity to resolve the situation. True.
Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. I'm not smiling now.
Hello, Kika.
Do you need help with
Okay.
anything in particular?
Papa will come back.
Yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Sounds like a good idea.
Goodbye, Doc.
There we go. We've talked to you.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. My Mortimer, and I'll cover all the expenses.
Well, I think at one
All
point
that
I drank
matters.
her blood too.
Are you really that
She's
way?
actually very mean.
Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Possibly. I don't know. Reasons?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Oh, wait 1 second.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
Are you using... Oh, are you using her for money then, possibly?
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
This is true. Okay, we're good.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick. Good evening.
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer
What
Goswick.
does it? This is the fellow we're supposed to help.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
Why did you
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you...
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked.
How painful.
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Oh. After I was in the help me with that.
Good evening.
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself.
I don't want...
That's what I want. This is what I want. Oh no.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
There you go. That's how you
Do
heal.
you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest is up to me now.
There you
I
go.
have to go
So you-
now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Don't waste your time with me.
I just did, and actually most likely probably saved you in some ways, more than one. So you could not, says you're regenerating. You're fine, you're fine. I haven't talked to you yet.
Please, Jonathan, come in.
There we go.
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
Now I am back. This is no gift.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I
Hey.
understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me
bizarre.
to eradicate this threat?
Why, the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashby is in.
Okay, I'm back. I was grabbing like a glass of milk or something, and it went up my nose. It'll take a few seconds. I've already seen the cutscenes though, so I already know how to direct them. So I just direct them, and then I just... You guys watch them. I burped really loudly there. And Captain decided to squawk really loudly. So we began having a conversation, Captain, apparently. Okay, we need to... Okay. By the way, when you get these chemicals here, like this and this and this, is you kill zombies and thingies like that, but you also can get rid of these. You can also buy them from merchants as well. We're gonna sit right here at the bed. We're going to... You can reset your skill points, which is a really nice perk of this game. It allows you to do this. Here, I'll show you. I'll do an example here. Boom. Reset all my things for me, but with all my XP. It's always a nice little perk. So your first perk though is this. Heals 200 HP and gets rid of the little red stopper marker. And you get to pick one of these if you didn't want the one you had originally. Like let's say I want claws instead. Actually, claws is actually a really good perk, so I'll actually go for claws instead actually. And then you can upgrade that perk based on it. And another perk you could go for if you really want to go for like really broken things, go for the double damage on this. Go for leveling up even more. And do the same with this, and you'll heal from that double damage. You'll really help out in fights in this game. In this game, these are both really good. Now we can upgrade our HP, but let's see, upgrade our health by 50 points. Done. See? Nice. We can do stuff like this. I think this is the best one, so they're a proper one. We can lock them for 500 points, and done so. You can unlock it again, which will really help. This perk is actually really helpful, so we are going to become a special type of vampire. We are going to use this perk. The really good one is this one. I believe it allows you to it tells you what it does right down there. It's really good. These both are really good. Okay. Chris, confirm, and you're good to go, right? Nah. Some cases it's see? Look. Now we healed his ailment. Now he has nothing to really worry about. Sitting there while I wait too. But in our case, we have to keep on doing stuff like that to get through the game. But another good way to get supplies is I'll show you guys in just a few seconds in here. Let's say you need some supplies. Well, let's go after this. Let's go after this. Grab some more supplies. But right now we're gonna grab this, and Captain's gonna speak to us and talk to us like we're human. Why'd you lock the door?
Sweet girl.
Who's in there? Unlock it. Whoa. Excuse me, YouTuber, what just happened?
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Much better after I gave him
Do
the
you
medicine.
require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
I have other concerns right now, Doctor. But I'm fine, thank you.
Have you heard rumors
Dr.
of court?
Well, go be...
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You're good now, for the most part.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
Thank you, Dr. Reed, but you've done enough already. The rest
He's
is
good
up to
now.
me now.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
And so that's how you do that quest. I have no idea what happened there with that, by the way. No idea at all. Well, it's not actually falling apart that badly, considering I'm helping most of them. You're good. Everyone's really good, honestly. Ooh, I haven't talked to you yet. Let's talk to you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going...
Reed?
Does my...
Let us just say that I don't particularly share his enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
I'm not an overrated
Have you
dabbler.
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery? If you are going to lead this surgery, I'm trusting you to assume the consequences of your actions, whatever the result.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed.
Fair enough.
There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
Like a creepy
And are you
parakeet.
not afraid that your
Or
rivalry
Captain
with
Bird.
Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I
Cut
guess you
down.
would call it that.
Cut on!
But I will never be childish.
Stop staring at me!
My personal feelings affect my judgment.
This is what he just really
If you
does.
have a
He stares
problem
at me.
with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Wow, aren't you just a dick? Technically, I would qualify you as evil, but I don't have the right intellect to do that right now.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Well, let's see. I just healed that guy over there in the
Since
freaking
your
room.
tenure in this hospital is longer than mine,